ခွဲတယ်အဲ့မှာချင်းကြီးမျိုးတူချင်းကြီးမျိုးခွဲချင်းကြီးပညာဆိုအဲ့လိုပေါ့ချင်းလက်မှာလည်းအဲ့လိုခွဲထားပြီးတော့ကျွန်တော်က2ယောက်ကူးလို့ရှိရင်1မှတ်ပေးတယ်6ယောက်ကူးလို့ရှိရင်9မှတ်ဖြစ်တယ်ပေါ့နော်မျိုးလူတွေမှာမျိုးခွဲတွေမှာလည်းဒီတိုင်းပဲ2ယောက်ကူးခါရတာပေါ့ဒါအကျဉ်းအဖြစ်ကျွန်တော်ပြောတာပေါ့ဒါပေမဲ့အဓိကကျွန်တော်တို့စီမှာ traditional အနေနဲ့ချင်းလို့မြေကြလို့ရှိရင်ကျွန်တော်က1မှတ်လျှော့ပေးတယ်သူကရတဲ့အမှတ်ပေါ်မှာမြေကြီးကိုကြားတိုင်း1မှတ်လျှော့တယ်ဒါကကျွန်တော် culture တစ်ခုပေါ့culture တစ်ခုအနေနဲ့ရိုးရာယဉ်ကျေးမှုအနေနဲ့ကျွန်တော်ကဒါကိုချင်းလုံးမြေမကြောက်အောင်ကျွန်တော်ကစားတဲ့သဘောပေါ့အဲ့ဒါကြောင့်ကျွန်တော်ချင်းလုံးမြေမကြောက်အောင်ထားတယ်ကျွန်တော်အာဇာနည်ကလည်း SEA Game အာရှ SEA Game ပေါ့နော်အရှိတောင်အာရှ SEA Game တွေမှာလည်းကျွန်တော်ရိုးရာချင်းလုံးကပြန်မိုးကြီးရှိတယ်ပြန်မိုးတွေကလည်းကျွန်တော်ဟိုနေ့မှာဗမာပြည်မှာပြုလုပ်ခဲ့တဲ့2019 2000ဟိုနေ့ပေါ့73ကတစ်ချိန်နောက်တစ်ခါဟိုနေ့မှာကျွန်တော်စင်ကာပူမှာကြားတဲ့တစ်ချိန်နောက်တော့မလေးရှားမှာကြားတဲ့တစ်ချိန်နှစ်ချိန်ကျင်းမာတဲ့အဲ့ဒီပွဲတွေမှာလည်းကျွန်တော်တို့ချင်းလုံးကပြန်ကစားရတယ်ပေါ့နော်အဲ့ပါဝင်ပြီးတော့ကစားရတယ်ပေါ့အဲ့မှာကျတော့ကျွန်တော်ပြန်ပွဲခုနကစားတဲ့ပုံစံမျိုးကတမျိုးဖြစ်သွားတာပေါ့အခုပြည်တွင်းမှာကစားတဲ့ traditional ကြတော့ကျွန်တော်ကအဆင့်မြင့်ကစားရတာပေါ့နော်ဟိုမှာကျတော့ကျွန်တော်တဝိုင်းလင်ရင်တမှတ်ပေးရပေါ့ဒါကတော့ international rule အနေနဲ့ကစားရတာပေါ့တဝိုင်းလင်တမှတ်ပေးတယ်အဲ့ဒါကျွန်တော်နိုင်ငံခြားပြန်ပွဲနိုင်ငံခြားမှာကျွန်တော် SEA Game တွေမှာအများဆုံးဒိုက်ကြီးပြန်ပွဲဝင်တယ်ပေါ့နော်
主要是以6个部位来踢嘛，就膝盖，然后脚。
Mainly, we focus on 6 parts: the knee, ankle, the front and back side of the foot, and the evaluation is based on the movement. Maybe with 6 movements, it will be 5 points. With 2 movements, just 1 point. And you can see it's the final beginning. It is beginning. Thank you very much. And this set of the final has just begun, and we turn our camera to the spot. And for this competition, it is much more flexible, and we can come so close to the competition court. And this team,
名字是新生代队儿是吧？
the name of the team is about the meaning of a new generation. And you can see the team members, they are very young. And you can also see and observe, and we will also introduce about this kind of sport. For each set, it is about 45 minutes. And within this time range, every 5 minutes, the team member will show one specific performance or one specific technique. You can see the team members here. They try to avoid the ball from falling on the ground. But within these 5 minutes, they can only focus on one specific technique. All the players need to focus on this one specific technique. And you can also see they are trying to use one technique. Every time for the ball to fall on the ground, or if the member uses his or her hand, the point will be lost. We have 6 players here. Every 5 minutes, we will have the substitute coming on the court. Although it is about this only one team, no competition between 2 teams, but you also say that this competition, this performance is exhausting, because we have the temperature of about 35 degrees Celsius, so the players will sweat a lot. And you can also see here, sitting on the chairs, the gentlemen in white. They are the referees, the judges here. And they will observe and they will evaluate the performance, the movement of the player. And for this traditional Sepak Takraw, The 45 minutes is such a long time, and we can say we are at the very beginning of this set of competition. So maybe until the end of our broadcast, we are still seeing this team. But we can see every 5 minutes they will change their technique. And for this traditional sepak takraw, this performance specifically has the high requirement for the technique to receive the ball. And for one player, there are 6 parts that can receive a ball: the knee, the front and back side of the foot, and the left and right side of the foot. All these can be used to receive a ball. So if we limit to one specific technique, all other players need to abide by this requirement. And this is such a high requirement, such a high standard. If you focus on one specific technique or one specific part of your body to receive the ball. So you can see the supporting player, and they will try to pick up the ball once the ball has a tendency to fall on the ground. And these players try to save the time to show the technique. And for the players on the ground, if they are tired, we have the substitute, and they will go onto the court to take the place. And in Myanmar, this sepak takraw, it is a very popular game. In the cities, in the rural areas, we can see the people playing this game because it is not so difficult to play because there is no limit on the ground. We are seeing the standard court with a diameter of 6.7 meter, and the players need to be limited to this circle. But if we say in the outside, for unofficial competition or during people's daily lives, they don't require such a space. Even smaller spaces are sufficient for playing. And we can see many players for this 5 minute. The technique is about receiving the ball from the back. So we have various kind of techniques for the traditional sepak takraw. They can receive the ball in the front, in the back, or across the body. So we have altogether 30 techniques to receive a ball. And in the 45 minutes, they will choose 4 to 6 techniques to show the audience. And we can hear the referee. He is counting 3, 4, 5. He's counting for the performance, for the movements that have met the standards for a certain technique. And this counting will directly influence the point finally got by this team. You can see sometimes the sweat dropped on the court will influence the performance because the ground will become slippery. And we are observing the competition, and we will turn our camera here to the side of the court. And today is for the finals. After the finals, we will have the awarding ceremony. And you can see all the medals and champion cups here. And this is large. Maybe it is for the champion, the top place. And on the top, you can see the shape of a a ball, and you can see this is very common in Myanmar because the raw material to build the ball, it is very commonly seen in Myanmar. And we have the specific award for an outstanding technique of the player. And the final will last to later afternoon, and the ceremony will be later afternoon or even the evening. And on the board, it is in the Myanmar language about the National Sepak Takraw Championship, and you can see the stage for the champion, the second place, and the third place. So you can see this is the first competition for traditional sepak takraw in Myanmar. And you can see, as it is the first time to hold such a competition, the layout, the conditions are not so good. And you can see many players are using their chest to receive the ball. We will try to ask and check whether this is one specific technique for the traditional sepak takraw. It is not allowed in the traditional performance, but and the main referee who is observing the performance, he could not talk to us because he's observing the performance. And some of the referee is counting, and some of the referee is monitoring the competition from different angles. You can see the court is not so large. 6 players altogether, and the referees need to take different perspectives to avoid any misjudgment. For what we have learned, for this championship, we have 32 teams to participate, and for the final, about 8 teams participate in the final. And for these 5 minutes, maybe the technique is about using the knee to receive the ball. We have discussed with the referees, and in Myanmar, the emphasis has been laid on traditional sepak takraw and the cultural implications. And for international standards and rules of sepak takraw is different from traditional sepak takraw. And in Myanmar, they have the teams to participate in international championships, but they will also want to preserve the traditional way of playing sepak takraw. And the referee has shared with us that the traditional practice, traditional sepak takraw focuses on cooperation because it is not directly competitive. The coordination and cooperation is excellent. We may not tell ourselves as we are not professional, but we can see the substitute. They have the expertise, they can receive the signal of the player, and the substitute, they will know when and how to come into the court. So among the team players, they will have different signals and they will have mutual understanding. And this understanding is very important. And for this team, we can see for twice in the past 20 minutes, the ball fall on the ground. So at least 2 points will be lost. And now 3 times for the ball to fall. And if we watch closely, we can see excellent moves, such as turning the body or kicking the ball. And for today's competition, it starts about 9 o'clock in the morning local time, and now is 11 o'clock local time. We have observed 3 teams. The first competition is for a female team, and the next 2 is for male teams. And we can see here very complex and sophisticated moves. Because this traditional way is not so competitive, and for that competitive thing, people will count whether the ball has fallen on the ground or whether the ball has gone beyond the court. The move need to follow the competition. But for the traditional sepak takraw, people will not pay so much attention about the ball going beyond the court line. And the player will focus excessively on whether the ball fall on the ground. So the players will show their movement, will show their technique to earn more points. And within the 5 minutes, the players will work together to show specific movements. And with such an arrangement, we can see very excellent movements. You can see the 6 players, they have been on the court for a long time. After the set begins, 1 substitute come into the court, and later on, the same 6 players compete and perform in the court. And in Myanmar, people have the understanding and passion for sepak takraw, and in Southeastern Asia games and other games, international games, Myanmar has gained for many times the gold medal and other medals. In 2013, for Myanmar to hold the SEA Games for the first time, a large share of the medals of Myanmar came from the competition of Sepak Takraw. And the Sepak Takraw performance we see here today is the traditional way. It is different from the international competition rules, but we can also observe the technique. And you can see the players are somehow different from the players in the combative competition. We can see that in the court, the players, they have a great coordination about the place they stand and the ball, how they receive the ball. But everyone pays close attention to the ball and the arrangement. And the arrangement is delicate and accurate. So we can see within these several minutes, it is rather rare, or on very little occasions will the ball fall on the ground. And the players, they will ensure that the ball does not fall on the ground, and they will also try to show their technique, and they will need to master the technique to take the ball. And just now, it was a little fault, and other players make up for that by receiving the ball excellently. And during this whole championship, the ups and downs of the balls and the sequence of players to take the ball, there is a very delicate arrangement. And for this rattan ball, for this Sepak Takraw, maybe we have a rough introduction. We try to leave certain impression for domestic audience. So if you are interested in this, if you come to Myanmar, you have more opportunities to observe, to watch, and with practice, you can see the tricks of playing Sepak Takraw. If you have more understanding, you can see the excellent performance better. And this is the first traditional Sepak Takraw Championship. As time is limited, this is the end of our broadcast. And later on, we will have more opportunities to show to you the traditional sports that are not well known across the globe. Thank you.